This time, we're actually going to paint something. Woo! Hey y'all, welcome back. So this time we are spraying the candy. I'm not going to do it tonight. I'm starting to run out of daylight. It's a little cool outside. So tomorrow I think I'll have plenty of time, and I think the weather will be a little more cooperative as far as just a warmer ambient temperature to help with the drying, since this paint does like to dry between coats. So what we're going to do tonight is get everything prepped, and that basically is getting the case put back together so that when we paint it, all of our edges will match up in color. So that's what we're going to do. Let's get this thing put together. Simple enough. Next thing, we'll throw it on the table, slap some paint on it. So with the case ready to go, we can now mix up some paint. Now for the practice panel I did, the orange is a tequila gold over gold base. But I do know that you can mix up these candies to get a tangerine over a silver base, which saves me a lot of extra painting. So that's what we're going to do, is 4 parts of the lemon yellow over 1 part of grabber orange. And then we'll be mixing that mixture with about a 6-to-1 ratio with their clear. I think there'll be a little bit of reducer. I know they suggest it for a bigger nozzle to not reduce it, but I'm running a little smaller gun than they are. So we'll probably end up reducing it a bit just to get some good flow. And then we'll be ready to put some paint down. Well, that looks awesome. So while the other 2 pieces are drying, I did kind of retouch the front. This wasn't bad as far as being able to go in and spot spray to kind of even the candy out some. But while those are drying, I'm going to peel my masking off of this one to make sure it didn't bleed through, because I have no idea. I'm hoping it didn't, but even if it did, the border tape that I've got down will not have bled through, and I can tape off the outside, respray the inside. But I'm hoping it just comes out and it's silver. So let's see what we've got. That came out awesome. I can't really describe how happy I am with how that turned out. It's impressive that this stuff has only been down for 3 or 4 hours and it's already dry and you can untape it. I don't think I'd want to work over the top of it. I think you can. I know a lot of the tutorial kind of things I've seen, you know, you can spray, let it dry a little bit. As long as it's dry, tape right back over it. I'm going to let it have a little bit of time. And when I do mask this back off, the tangerine, I'll probably just use masking tape and paper. I just need something that keeps the overspray from blowing onto it. But we're not going to go with anything aggressive and risk peeling the paint off more. And I did jump the gun a bit on untaping because I do still have to get these edges in the tangerine. But I wanted to see how this looked, and I am super stoked. We'll let this thing set for a day or two along with the other pieces, and then we'll go in, we'll take the airbrush, mix up some tangerine, and hit these really quick and make sure all our edges are good. And then we'll be done putting the tangerine down. And we can probably start working on our interior panels. So, progress. Very happy. Much better than last time. So, we'll give this a couple of days and we'll come back to it. Okay, so it's been a few days. The paint is nice, dry, cured, not going anywhere, hopefully. Now we are going to do our edges and our jambs. So here, you know, the things that we couldn't hit while the case was put together. Also, I guess the sides of the drive bays, we'll have to hit those. And how we're going to do that is we are going to mix up our tangerine, shoot it with an airbrush, and just basically tape off our main paint with some masking tape. Nothing crazy. I'm not worried about bleeding, so I just want to keep the spray off of it. And with an airbrush, I can do some pretty good control. So we'll tape the edges up, get these sprayed. I've got a couple spots on where the door hooks onto this part, the back side of the door, and the edges of the case, or the front panel. So we'll get paint mixed up and spray those. And while we're at it, I got in a little bit of a hurry when I was painting the back of the case. I get kind of gung-ho whenever I'm, you know, getting ready to paint something, and I also had just had the regulator go bad on my gun. So I was fighting that, my brain was somewhere else, and I forgot to tack the back of the case down. So there are a few spots where the candy climbed up on a dust particle, and what you get is, since that is kind of going up like water does, you know, to the, it makes it thicker right there, and so it darkens the candy. So I'm going to nib sand those and then kind of even them out with the airbrush after the fact. So I think I can get that without making it look weird. So that's the plan. We'll mix up some paint, get all this stuff painted, and then we'll be done. Well, we'll be done so far. And everything is dry and turned out awesome. So the color match was pretty good. The orange, it's a little oranger, so I probably could have gone one coat less on this stuff, just compared to the original. But for the first time trying to match up candies, I'm kind of impressed with myself. I thought I was going to mess this up horribly. So very happy with how that turned out. And these are going to be behind other panels anyway, so it doesn't matter if they're just a hair off. But yep, super pleased with all of this. And also I did get some B-roll of this part out in the sun, and man, talk about pretty. Usually candies, once you get the clear coat on them, they really stand out and they shine. This stuff, even without a clear on it, is gorgeous. And just, I foresee motorcycles being painted like this relatively soon. Don't know which ones, but one of them's probably going to get a new paint job, even though the paint on them's only like a year old. But yeah, next up we're going to get to our detail panels. Since all the orange is done, we'll get those laid out and start doing the candies on them. Maybe figure out what we're doing with them. But as far as this video, I'm going to call it, I'm totally happy with the orange. So I guess take care of yourselves and get out there and mod something.